Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Most welcome to you all to this class on an introduction to Ilmul Fara'il, the science of inheritance. The term Ilmul Fara'il, please note it, the science of inheritance. Inshallah, definitely we are looking forward from each one of you, dear candidates, participants, really to the best efforts and results from you, and very good association of the studies classes with you, inshallah. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with all khair, with ilmu ikhlas, especially in this month of Ramadan. Allahumma ameen ya rabbal alameen. So this class is as part of our course of Islamic law of inheritance, and we have just finished the class that introduces the base text of our course, that is Fatahul Mu'in, the very famous kitab of Imam Zainuddin Makhdum second. So here we are moving to the basic principles of Ilm al-Fara'il, that is the science of inheritance. We can move on. The first point, that is its terminology, its word, that is Fara'il, Ilmul Fara'il. Ilm means science. Fara'il means, that is plural of the term Fadila. What is the meaning of Fadila? That is Muqaddara. Muqaddara means decreed, calculated, ruled. That is the meaning of Fadila. So here in this branch of science, ilmul the fadila means the calculated one. So there are different other meanings, as we are very familiar with the meaning of the compulsory one. So here it is not the meaning. And what is the definition of this science? Ilmul fara'il means the science of fara'il, science of inheritance. That means its definition, the jurisprudence of inheritance, that is the fiqh of inheritance. In fiqh we will discuss the ahkam, we will discuss the masail. So in ilmul fara'id there will be the details of the rulings, regulations of inheritance, and the science of arithmetic that leads to knowing what belongs to everyone who is entitled to his right to the estate. That also includes in ilm al-fara'il. There will be some arithmetic processes, some mathematical dealings that leads to know what is the rights, what are the exact amount, what's the exact right that belongs to estate. What's the meaning of estate? The money of a dead person, that is the wealth of a dead person. That is the meaning of estate here. In Arabic we say tedika, or we say mirath. So ilm al-fara'il, the definition is that the jurisprudence of inheritance and the science of arithmetic that leads. Science of arithmetic, it is a different one, but here that leads to knowing what belongs to everyone who is entitled to his right to the estate. We can move to the next one. What is the main discussion of this topic, subject matter of this topic? It is how to divide the estate among the heirs. That is the main concern of this topic. Then to the third point, it is basically this ilm al-fara'il, the science of inheritance. It comes from Quran, it comes from hadith, it comes from ijma' of Sahaba. So from Quran we can, there are three verses in Surah An-Nisa. Those verses are mainly known as the verses of inheritance. That is verse number 11, 12 and 176. And as part of, as for the Sunnah of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam hadith, there are so many hadiths. Just for example, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, "Al-hiqu al-fara'ila bi ahliha, fama tarakat al-fara'ilu fali awla rajulin dhakarin." What is the meaning? Add, that is a small okay, that's okay. Please add the shariahs to its people, and whatever remains is for the most related male. That is, that's hadith, part of a discussion, inshallah. Definitely it will be coming as part of our class. So this hadith is discussing ilm al-fara'il, and it's one of its ruling. And second hadith is Rasulullah says a Muslim does not inherit a kafir, non-Muslim, nor does a kafir Muslim. It means the vice versa. So this is one example of another hadith that belongs to ilm al-fara'il. As for the consensus, that is ijma of mujtahideen after the wafat of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that is called as ijma. So there is one mas'ala, one issue that is really supported by ijma. The companions and their followers, they decided that this share of one grandmother is 1/6, as well as that of 2 and 3 grandmothers. So this was proven by the ijma of Sahaba and Tabi'in. So basically, these are the 3 sources of the science. The fourth point: what is the merit of this knowledge, this science? Above all other sciences, its status, its merit is above all other sciences, because Allah has placed it in details in great Quran and Hadith. So ilm, in Islam, we say ilm, it means ma qala Allah wa ma qala Rasul, what Allah and Messenger said. So ilmul mirath, this science of fara'il, it is with its perfect details. It was brought in Quran, so its status is really great, high. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the law of inheritance constitutes half the sum of ilm. That is one of the very important hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It means the ilmul fara'il is, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that is nisful ilm, nisful ilm. This science of inheritance, it is nisful ilm, half the sum of the ilm. Subhanallah. That's a very famous hadith of Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu. Ya Aba Hurairah, ta'allamu al-fara'ila wa'allimuha fa'innahu nisful ilmi wa huwa yunsa wa huwa awwalu shay'in yuntazaw min ummati. O Abu Hurairah, learn about the inheritance and teach it, because it is half of knowledge, but it will be very easily forgotten. This is the first thing that will be taken away from my ummah. So these are the hadiths which give the clues to its merit. We can move to the next one. Who is its founder, its author, it's the person who established? Nobody else. That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who established this law through his revelations. Because there are so many other sciences in Islam. The scholars are the persons who established it. But this, for example, Abul Aswad al-Du'ali, we hear his name as part of Ilm al-Nahaw, and Abdul Qahir al-Jurjani, we can hear his name as part of Ilm al-Balagha, and Imam Shafi. He's the person who established the science of usul al-fiqh. So, but ilm al-mirath, the science of inheritance, it has been established by Allah Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the sixth point, its relation, the relation of this science to other sciences. It is part of the science of jurisprudence, that is ilm sharia, ilm shar'i. So this science of fara'il is ilmun shar'iyyun, because it relates to Islamic fiqh jurisprudence. There are some other names for this science: ilm al-fara'il, ilm al-mawadith, ilm al-tarikat, ilm al-mirath. The 8th point, what is its benefit? Its benefit: the learner acquires an estate or a property of a dead person, with which he will be able to divide among the deserving persons in the legal manner. That is the benefit of this science. So all these things must encourage, my dear brothers and sisters, must encourage each one of you. Just find few minutes every day, few minutes, to note all these points, and by the end of the day all the collections will be in front of you, and you will be well versed in it, and you will be a reference in the area, inshallah, hopefully. Then the point 9, what's the goal of this science? It is to convey to everyone who is entitled to his right from the estate. That is the objective, then the goal of the science. And what are the masail, issues that's going to be discussed in this science? The problems that include share of holders, and asaba. What is asaba? We will learn it. And hajib. What is hajib? We will learn it. And asl mas'ala. Inshallah, we will be getting to know all these technical terms very soon, inshallah. 11th point is, what is the ruling of learning this science? That is faradu kifaya. Faradu kifaya means if some people learn it, the sin and the embarrassment are waived for the rest. All will be safe. If somebody if they are learning, all are safe, all others are safe. But if none of the people learns it, then the sin is applicable to all. That is, you definitely know what is the meaning of farli ain, farli kifaya. Farli ain means all, each and every individual is accountable. For example, the fardu prayer, compulsory 5-time fardu prayer, it is fardu ain. Each and every individual is responsible. Fardu kifaya means it's a social responsibility. If somebody is there to perform this fardu, then all others are safe. So here this science is a fardu kifaya. And the 11th point, there are three main factors of this science. The first one is to know who is the hair. There is a small typo, please note it. And who is not, who are the deserving persons of the estate, and who are not. That is the first factor of this science. The second one is to know the shares of each hair, the shares of each hair. For example, the share of the son, the share of the daughter, the share of the sister, the share of the wife, the husband, all these steps, inshallah. And the third one is to know its calculation. Then the science is complete, is over. And the 12th point, the most famous for this knowledge among the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those are Ali radiallahu anhu, Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, Zayd radiallahu, Ibn Masud radiallahu anhum, and they did not agree on a matter except that the Ummah agreed with them, because they were the number one persons in this science, scholars of this science. And among the Tabi, the followers of the companion, there is Couse radiallahu anhu, Ibn Sina radiallahu anhu, Atar radiallahu, Imams of Madhabs definitely radiallahu anhu, Imam Shuraih radiallahu anhum. And the point number 12, what are the challenges of this science? Once a person is in pursuit of getting it, what will be the possible challenges that he faces? The number one, no limits for the cases of the hairs. We will be discussing. There are 15 males who are the hairs, and we will be learning there are 10 females who are regarded as legal heirs. So it's very easy. The total maybe 25 people, but there is certain conditions. The daughter will get the half of the wealth. Sometimes there is cases the daughter will get 2/3 of the biggest share, 2/3 of the wealth she will be getting. There are different cases, so it's a bit confusing. That's one challenge. So if a person who is learning the ilm al-fara'id, so he must be aware of this fact, mainly lest he should go down. Okay, And the second challenge is the science of faraid is related to science of mathematics also. Some mathematics basics are needed here. So this science relates with another very separate, very different science. And the third one is forgetting. It is one of the fastest sleeping sciences, so it needs revision, reading, and problem solving. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, فَإِنَّهُ نِصْفُ الْإِلْمِ وَهُوَ يُنْسَى. وَهُوَ يُنْسَى means it is very easily forgotten. That's a fact. And the third one is there is nothing that has merit except shaitan is erring, definitely, because this science is regarded as nisful ilm. Rasulullah has very strongly encouraged all of us to follow it. So definitely shaitan will be there to misguide, to mislead, to make mistakes. So these are the possible challenges. We have to be aware of these facts before we start this course. And the next one is there are four rights uh, relate to this estate. That is, basically there are four rights. If a person has debt and he has left back a certain estate, certain wealth, there are basically four rights that belong to that wealth. The number one right is the right related presently to estate, as if he died without deducting zakat from his money. When the person passed away, at that moment, certain rights of zakat was compulsory with his right. So the first right to that estate is to take the zakat amount from that wealth. Here it doesn't mean that person, when he passed away, he had to pay certain zakat amounts 2 years back, the amounts of 2 years back, the amounts of 3 years back, it was in his responsibility as a debt to pay. No, it is not the meaning of this one. The meaning of this thing is, at present, with the body of that estate and that wealth, if there are certain these kinds of rights like zakat or like other things, for example, some transactions were going on, so we have to finalize it very soon. That is the first duty towards the estate of a dead person. The second one is janaza expenses like washing of the dead body, shrouding of the dead body, the burial process of the dead body. The third one is the debt owed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, Hajj. And as well as the debts owed to others, makhluk, like loans. So the first priority is the debts of Allah, debts towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the third one. And the fourth one is wasiyah. That is from 1/3 of the money. And whatever exceeds 1/3 must be approved by the heirs. Okay. If the wasiyah is done to any member of the heirs, so definitely, even though it is under 1/3 of the money, all the heirs must approve it. If it is to ajnabi, to a person who is not basically a heir, so that will be applicable only in 1/3, and whatever exceeds 1/3 must be approved by the heirs. And the fifth one, that is normally the inheritance, the that we are discussing now. So these are the main duties in order towards the estate or the wealth of a dead person. Number 14. There are mainly 3 reasons to inherit. First reason is marriage. That's a legal, valid marriage contract. If a person has married, so that wife or the husband will inherit If the wife passed away, the husband will inherit her. If husband passed away, the wife will inherit. So the marriage, it is a one reason to inherit. The second one is wala. It means that is enfranchisement of slavery. Is a judgmental kinship between slave and master. What's the meaning? If the master, that the slavery was prevailing in the very earlier time, Islam has prohibited it very tactically, very tactically. I'm not going to its details. So if the master freed his slave, something called wala occurred between them, which is a blessing caused by the fact that the freed master preferred his slave. So he freed him as he brought him out of slavery to freedom. Or is a legal relationship established by Sharia resulting from manumission? It means the enfranchisement of slavery. So a person, he freed his slave, his slave. So that slave now is a free man. So once he passed away, that person who was earlierly a slave, once that person passed away, there is a chance for the master to inherit his wealth. That is the second reason. Okay, and the third reason is lineage, true kinship. The lineage is the connection between two people in a near or distant birth. Near birth means the sons and daughters. The distant birth means the brothers and sisters, or the uncles, the brothers of father, and the brothers of mom. All these things that are the people in distant birth. So every person between you and him is a close or distant birth relationship on the father's side, on the mother's side, or both. He's your relative, and this reason is strongest causes of inheritance, definitely. So these are the three reasons: marriage, wala, and the third one is lineage, the true kinship. What are the conditions of inheritance? The number one, inheritance death. Inheritance death, that is the first condition. He died in reality by witnessing or by testimony of falsification, or the judge ruled his death, as is the case of hopeless missing of the person. So inheritors death, there are two types. One is he will in the real form of the death, or the person, he is hopelessly, he has missed hopelessly. So the qali, the judge, will rule his death. So there are certain regulations. I'm not going to its details. Calculating the possible time of a person to live, the judge will rule his death. So the number one condition, inheritor must die. The second one is the life of the heir upon the death of the inheritor. Once the inheritor died, passed away, the heir must be alive, even in an embryo state, in the uterus of the any female member. Even the embryo, in the state of embryo, the hair is there. Definitely you have to wait for the embryo to be born. And the third one is there is no, and we have to ensure that there is no any impediment, any block for heir to inherit. What are the impediments for heir? That we will discuss in the next slides. So number one, inheritor must die, the heir must live. The third one, never ever will be there any impediment, any block, any manner to inherit. So what are there are three impediments, three blocking reasons to inherit, to inheritance, that prevent a person from obtaining the inheritance. Number one, slavery. Slavery. A person, he is a slave. He will never inherit, and he will never get inherited. For example, a slave passed away, all his wealth belongs to his master. That's all. And a person passed away, in the hair, out of the hairs of that person, a slave comes, he will never get that wealth. And the second one is murder. A killer does not inherit from his victim. And the third one is differences of religion. Non-Muslim does not inherit from his Muslim, and vice versa. A Muslim from non-Muslim and non-Muslim from Muslim, no inheritance. So there are three preventing causes for the inheritance, that is slavery, second one murder, the third one differences of the religion. MashaAllah. So here we conclude. So, Alhamdulillah, definitely you must have got a broad understanding of the science of inheritance, inshallah. Next, we are moving to the text. Please note it. Please share your reflections, and we really are looking for the best efforts and results from you. Thank you so much. Jazakumullah kulla khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.